I had been working in the lingerie industry for over 20 years when I first started to pull the brand together. We were fortunate enough to be living and working in Mauritius, where I was the creative director for a couture brand. Up until that point, I'd been designing in more of a commercial setting for the high street. I'd done a lot of different things, styling for photo shoots. I'd worked on trends in Paris for a long time. So it did feel like all the things that I'd done in my career was starting to form the business. When I got offered the position in Mauritius, I could not believe that I'd got access to this wonderful archive, old sketchbooks, notebooks, beautiful laces, garments, and machinists that had been taught how to do all these lovely heritage vintage techniques that I'd loved forever. I was in my element. It was wonderful. I could be really creative. The machinists were amazing. They would just look at me and laugh and be like, that can't be done. That's not possible. And we'd be there pinning together and working it out. And then when it came together, it was so lovely because they enjoyed it as well. And we all became this really creative team. So working for the high street is very different because everything is about money. And as a designer that loves detail, I love those little attention to details, those little pieces that are beautiful. And for me, those are the reasons you fall in love with a garment, for me anyway. And in the commercial world, all those details are taken off. I was forever fighting my corner. Keep that on, please don't take that detail off, because they're saving pennies all the time. And it drives me nuts. I get it, but it drives me nuts. And because I would be constantly saying, that's the reason they're going to fall in love with it. That's the reason they're going to buy it. But I guess in fast fashion, it's not about that. They just want to keep turning the mill and keep chucking out the garments that are ultimately going to end in landfill. And that never sat comfortably with me either. And I did feel like there was constant pressure on the factories in the Far East or wherever they were to be cheaper and cheaper. And that always upset me because I felt like it didn't have a skilled machinist at the forefront. So to be able to meet this wonderful factory in a beautiful island, which was so random, and meet these machinists that could make these beautiful things, really felt like I was starting to create the brand. And when I realised it was possible, I still remember that bubble of excitement and I thought, gosh, I can do this. And I actually still work with the same factory today. So Shoba and I, who runs the factory, we've been friends for 19 years. So it's so lovely to be working with the same team day in, day out, creating these beautiful pieces. Yeah, so right back at the beginning when I was a student many years ago, I was obsessed with vintage. We'd be trawling markets, trying to find those beautiful pieces. And I loved slip dresses. I'd wear slip dresses. It was the thing at the time. It was the 90s. It's what you did. And I fell in love with them. And over the years, I've really thought, what is it about these pieces that really makes you want to hold on to them and never let go? And for me, it's always the detail. It's knowing how much time it's taken. Somebody has had to cut out that lace, pin it on, sew it on, steam it, cut out behind it. The processes are slow. There's a lot of love and patience goes into those pieces, as does with our pieces. And I feel like that shows. And I've always had the feedback that people love that and they appreciate that about the brand. And for me, that's what steps us apart from the high street and everything that's come before, because it can't be mass produced. And there's very few small factories and small ateliers, which is really what ours is. It's a small group of highly skilled people taking their time to make beautiful pieces. And it feels precious and it feels rare. And what's really lovely is our customers love the pieces in a way that they become evocative for them. They treasure them and they want to keep them. I've been told, like one girl messaged me and she said, I will never part with my silk kimono because it holds all my precious memories. And honestly, I welled up. I thought, wow, this makes all the tough times worth it, because it's been the last couple of years in my 15 years of running the business have been interesting. It's been tariffs and global changes and, it's brutal. You're pivoting. And to have feedback like that really makes you stop in your tracks and go, this is why we do it. And I always share it with Shoba. I ring her straight away and I say, look what someone said, look at this beautiful image. And it means a lot to us. That's why we do it. So that's really lovely. And this particular lady had bought the kimono for the birth of a child, actually, and she'd worn it for the photos, and then she'd had it while she was a toddler, and then she got married. And it became this piece that had travelled through her journey with her, which was amazing. And I've had other girls say that their lingerie meant more to them than their wedding dress. Well, that floors me. That is amazing. So yeah, the feedback is lovely, really lovely. Yeah, that's the aim. That's the ethos of the brand, really. I've loved the 90s, 20s and 30s for a long time. I think back then the thought of travel, it was something new. It was so glamorous. It was something so beautiful, and they styled it well. When you look back at vintage footage and old photographs, these women, they were traveling in style. Obviously, at the time, they were wealthy to be doing that, but the way they traveled and the luxurious pieces that they wore and the languid photographs and it's just for me, it's evocative. It's the desire of where we want to be, where we want to be wearing those pieces, and having that moment to feel like that in the pieces is really the end goal. Is to have a piece that you put on, and for that moment, you feel wonderful. It makes you feel glamorous. It's comfortable. It's flattering, and I think that really is the essence of that period and the glamour and just having those moments that are precious to you that you can treasure. I loved my wedding. I loved the process of the wedding. I loved the build up of the wedding. I loved it, loved it. And what was really lovely, it wasn't this big photo shoot. It wasn't about cameras or images or anything like that. I didn't even have a phone, didn't have a camera. It was all about the people, the emotions, bringing everybody together, and about me feeling comfortable and confident on the day. And I think whatever you're choosing to wear for those absolutely precious moments need to enhance that. I think a lot of high street lingerie and things, they're aimed at a younger market. And I think a lot of it is throwaway. It's cheap. It's not comfortable, probably smaller sizing. And I hope that when our pieces are discovered for ladies' wedding days, whether they're young or later in life for another wedding or a special occasion, I hope that they put the pieces on and appreciate that the designs are considered they're designed to make them feel flattered, to kind of empower them in a feminine way. I want women to put the pieces on and feel like they're feminine and they're desirable and they feel confident. And most importantly, that they're comfortable, that they feel like the silk kimonos, they're generous, they're sandwashed silk, they're so soft. And the more you hand wash them, the softer they get. So you're kind of enveloped in this gorgeousness. And for me on my wedding morning, it gave me a sense of calm. I was in my favourite kimono. It felt wonderful. And I thought, oh, I could do this. And it's just those moments that, when you look back, become moments that you treasure. On my wedding morning, my niece fell in love with my kimono. It had a vintage veil on the back of it, it had this lovely little cutout, and she loved it. And the second I'd got my dress off, she whipped it off me, and she actually wore it to the wedding over. She'd got a black slip on, and she wore it over her dress for the day. So that kimono now for me has a double story, and it has pride of place in my bedroom. It's hung, it's got a little gold hook that it's on, and every time I pass it, I smile. And I think it's moments like that. And our pieces, really, they're designed to flatter the wearer. And they're versatile. So you might wear it on your wedding night, but you're also going to take it on your honeymoon. A lot of our pieces do cross over, like the camisoles and the slips, into sort of over your swimsuit on your honeymoon or by the bar. A lot of our pieces do cross over. But I think having confidence in those pieces as well as your wedding dress really builds the whole story and the whole picture. So my vision for the pieces in the future, and I'm laughing because I've got this old trunk and my son delightfully has nicknamed it my death trunk because I scribble away all these pieces that I love, things that I've collected years ago, my favourite slips, some little shorts or something, pieces from my own collection, just my favourites. And I put them away in a trunk, and he knows that one day this will be his. And it's a standing joke whenever I love something, I'm going, it's going in the trunk. And my dream is for myself and for other wearers. I know that they're treasured. I know that the pieces, they're an investment. They're not cheap price because they're not cheap products. And I know that people buy them and they value them and they treasure them in a way because they hold their memories, because they're evocative. I know that they're going to wear them and wear them and wear them for many years. I mean, I'm 9 years on and still wearing mine. Many years you'll be wearing them, and then you'll beautifully fold it, put it away. And I hope that my son's children's find it one day in the future, get it out, wear it, love it, want to understand it. That for me is what becomes an heirloom piece, where somebody initially has appreciated the details and the finery and the time and patience and love it's taken to make it. And then for it to be put away for a long time, and then somebody to get it out of future generations and go, oh, wow, look at this. Gosh, look at the lace, and look at, the way I did, the way I reacted to pieces when I was a student, pieces from many years before, the 20s or 30s, that I still treasure today. I want it to have that effect on people. And I just think there's nothing more lovely. I think in this world, it's brutal at the moment. I think there's a lot going on. There's a lot you can be sucked down these rabbit holes online and everything else. And I think it's stepping back and just savouring those precious moments for yourself. And it's the beauty and the pleasure in simplicity. It's interesting that romanticize your life is on trend, because for me, I think that as women and having that feminine essence, I think we've always done that. I think we seek out the beauty and we seek out the moments and just take a breath. And I think really that's what it's about. And I think if these pieces can contribute to that, whether you're sitting with your favourite mug on a Sunday morning and you pop on your wedding kimono because it's now your weekend kimono, whatever, I think it's those moments that count. And I think it's those moments that keep us sane. And I think for me that really is the essence of the brand, and keep adding those details and adding those beautiful touches, and people spot them, they love them, they do see the details. So a nod to my commercial days where it was take it off, keep it plain, we don't want detail on the back, they're not going to see it, we're not going to pay for it. I design on the round, I design on the mannequin, like you can see on this one here. This piece in the middle is actually a vintage pocket, which is really old. It's a style that I had the lace factory redo for me, and it forms this lovely handkerchief hem, which is really flattering. And even like our shorts and things like this, we have these lovely like ladder insets down the front. The lace is appliqué, and I've got them on the back, which would be never done in the high street. And they lace up down the side. And for me, that's a piece of treasure. It's something that, especially if you've got some lovely period in time or part of your love story when you wore it, you're going to wear them for a long time and then get them out and go, gosh, I remember that weekend away or my honeymoon, etc. So that the attention to detail is there, and hopefully you see it. And I do have a favourite quote. It's by Elsie de Wolfe, and it's, "I will make everything around me beautiful. That will be my life." I love it. And do you know what? Why not? Why not? Take your moment, hold it dear. Why not? I think for me, the French lever's lace, many people may not realise, it's actually made on hundreds of years old machines. It's really slow. And that whole process is how you get the really lovely attention to detail. You get these lovely pattern work, the florals, you get the little tiny spots. You're actually paying for little holes and little spots when you buy French lever's lace, and it has the cut lines through it, and it has this really soft handle. Whereas I think obviously cheaper laces, they kind of fall apart. They've got elastin in them. They're not kind of forever pieces. Then we'll throw away. And it enables you to do a lot of the appliqué work that we do and a lot of the details. There's not many places that make the French lace. We use the same mills as the likes of Yves Saint Laurent, Chanel, Dior, Victoria Beckham, all the people, we all use the same lace suppliers. In fact, some of them have used some of my iconic laces recently, which is quite nice. And I know that Chloe's using, in fact, I think it's this lace at the moment. So we're all sort of scrabbling over the most gorgeous laces in few factories, unfortunately. But for me, it's the little precious details. Like on this shoulder, I didn't want to put the scallop of the lace into a seam. So I've added this lovely sheer panel so that you don't lose that lovely scallop, and you get a little bit of I like sensual touches in my designs that you can reveal. So you'll see the skin on your shoulder, you might have a cutout on the back, and we also do like subtle lacing down the back that you can untie or not tie, or on the sides. And we also place laces like in the nape of your neck or the lower back, just places where you get these little subtle reveals that they're sensual, they're flirty, they're fun, just beautiful touches. And the silks that we use are beautiful. They're sandwashed, so they've got this lovely, the softest buttery silk that you can find. And the more you hand wash it, the softer and softer it gets. It's beautiful. So there really are pieces that they get better with time, really. And we also are introducing more pieces because we know a lot of our pieces are worn out. So the new Coco collection, which will be coming out soon, that is in celebration of our 15th anniversary, is just beautiful. We've got our little signature gold fans on the bottom, and this is like laced through the eyelet lace with the details, lots of appliqué down the front. So a lot of these pieces, yes, that's like a lounging set with the shorts, which have got the same lace and the lovely handkerchief hem, but they can also be worn out. And again, one of our little bestsellers is the Aeneas camisole, which has got a lot of appliqué lace and the lovely handkerchief hem. And that is one of our bestsellers. It's beautiful and really flattering. I think if a bride is discovering Shell Belle Couture, I want her to know that the pieces, they're designed to flatter her. They're designed to make her feel comfortable, confident. And I think, especially if she's maybe an older bride, we cater for everybody, but maybe the older bride, I think they want to feel seen. I think as women get older, they need to remember who they are, who they were, that they're still that desirable, beautiful woman that they always have been. And our pieces are designed to flatter all women's curves and sizes. So that's why the sensual touches are subtle, the shapes are generous, because we want you to feel comfortable in them. So I want her to have a look through, find her treasure and find her forever piece. And they're flattering. I think once they find the right piece for them, which we're always here to answer questions. We love chatting to our brides. And even the guys, we get a lot of the guys talking to us as well. One gentleman sent me a message. He said, I'll read it to you. He said, "Thank you. Your laundry is the most beautiful my wife and I have ever seen. So happy to make them part of our love story." I mean, it's just lovely. The guys also gift their brides on the wedding morning beautiful pieces as well. So that's really lovely. So yeah, I just want them to know that they're buying a piece that's been made by people that care, made by people that love the pieces, are really interested in who's wearing them in your story too. And hopefully you'll wear them and treasure them and it'll become part of your ongoing story.